All right, guys and girls, if you take a look at your lab sheet for Investigation 1.3, Part A says, the numbers below display the name length data for Japanese students. The arrow shows the position of the median, the midpoint of the 20 observations. So what's happening here is they have collected data from 20 different students, and they have here shown the length of their names, Japanese students' names. So we have our least is 7, our greatest is 14, and they've arranged them all in order. So on your desk, you should have the same thing. I gave you cards to cut out. You should have your list, and they're all in order from least to greatest. Now, it says the value of the median is 11.5. It's determined by the 10th and 11th data values, 11 and 12 letters. So I want to show you what my cards look like and how we came up with that median. Okay, so as you can see, I have my data lined up from least to greatest, and I have two little candies, one on each end, that I'm going to use. And I'm going to start with my least amount of data and move that little candy over to the next number. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to continue to do that. Move one over from the least and the greatest and the least and the greatest. And you're going to just continue to keep doing that, one on each side. Now on your paper, if you have these written down in order, least to greatest, what we talked about doing yesterday was just kind of putting a little dash through each number until you come up with a number that's left in the middle, or until you're between two numbers. Okay, now what happens is I'm in between, if I do this correctly, and move the same amount of spaces on each side, 11 and 12. So let me go back, because I was talking while I was counting, and just make sure I crossed out the same amount of numbers on each side. So here I would have crossed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers on the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers on the left. So you can see that I've done that correctly. And I now have 11 and 12 that are in the middle. The median is only one number in the middle. So I can't have 11 and 12. I have to pick what's in between. So I have to think of what number comes between 11 and 12, because that is right where my median would go. So if I move these little guys, my median goes right in the middle of 11 and 12. What that means is my median is 11.5. If I have between $11 and $12, that would be $11.50. 11.5 is halfway between. So take your little median sticky note and put it on your desk in between the 11 and the 12, like I've done here with mine. And then I'm going to refer back to your worksheet so we can talk a little bit more about what's happening next. All right, so now for number 1, it says the Japanese teacher sent over 2 more names, Arisa and Yui. And it asks how many observations are there now? Well, we originally had 20 plus 2 more. So we're going to add to our paper here that we have a total of 22 observations. And it's telling you to order the name length data from least to greatest, use an arrow to identify the position of the median, and highlight the data values that you added. So what you can do now is, with a scrap piece of paper or a couple more sticky notes, you need to add the number 8 and the number 13 to your data because Arissa has 13 letters in her name and Yui has 8. So we're going to add those to our list. We're going to figure out what happens to the median after we add those to our list. I also want you to write down your new data underneath number 1 so we have our data with our worksheet, and then highlight the median and our new data values. Okay, so make sure you pause the video, take some time to put your data in order, least to greatest still, and add your 8 and your 13, and then make sure that you go ahead and find your new median. So pause if you need to do that. When you're ready, go ahead and continue playing the video. If I use my little candy pieces again, and I go to find the median this time, and I move 1 over from each side, and I continue to do so, until I end up in the middle, because again with median, I'm looking for the middle number. You can see what happens is I end up in the same spot again. Slide this in here, take these away. The reason this happens is because I put a new piece of data on each side. The 8 is to the left, the 13 is to the right. So I balanced out the data and I kept my median in the same place. I also want you to make sure that your information on your worksheet looks the same. So I'm going to have you pause the video so that you can double check your worksheet and copy answers from the board. So this is what your worksheet should look like for number 1.